A missing Georgia man, woman charged with murder. Okay. There is an issue going on, granted $150,000 bond. 20-year-old Destiny Stevens has been charged with concealing the death and murder in connection with the lengthy disappearance of 21-year-old Leondre Flynt of the Atlanta suburb of Loganville. On Tuesday, Stevens was granted a $150,000 bond, ordered not to contact Flynt's family, leaving the victim's devastated family frustrated. They actually took my auntie in custody when she heard that she had bond. Shannon Wilson, the victim's cousin, told local station WXIA, she just yelled out in court, "Where's his body?" Because we still haven't found his body. Lena Blackstar filling in the details for us. Details of Flynt's disappearance last seen earlier this year, July 29th, when he informed a relative that he was heading to a store to pick up an auto part. Fox 5 Atlanta reported that. It was reported missing about 3 days later to authorities in Gwinnett County, where Loganville is located. Mid-August now, Atlanta Police Department executed a search warrant at an apartment in the Buckhead district of Atlanta where items of evidentiary value were obtained. According to the report, investigators said they believe the victim was killed in that apartment. That was based on their findings. Now, his family reports that on the day of his disappearance, he told a family member he was going to see a woman in Buckhead. Police later traced his phone location history and found that on the day he disappeared, he visited the apartment complex where the search warrant was executed. Now, according to reports, Flynt's vehicle was traced to Detroit, Michigan. This is days after his disappearance. Security footage obtained by police shows Stevens and another woman hop out of Flynt's truck in the parking lot of an Atlanta shopping center the day he vanished. Authorities giving the details. The two reportedly purchased a bolt cutter and hand saw from a home improvement store. Stevens taken into custody in October. Two other individuals described as a man and woman also charged but have yet to be identified by law enforcement per 11 Alive. I can't imagine, Wosny, what the family is going through. The details are horrific. Horrific. The bond kicks it up another notch. And to not know and to be begging and pleading for information such as, where's his body? It is unimaginable to think about what they're dealing with.
Yeah, my heart goes out to the Flynt family and his community. This is a story that hits quite close to home for me. I have a lot of family members who live in Gwinnett County, and when something like this happens, it affects the entire community. Somebody this young to have his end come in such a obviously violent way. This guy didn't just disappear, poof, off the face of the earth. Something untoward's happened to him, which is horrible. And again, it makes you wonder, right? You want to be trustful of people. You want to think you could be in community with people. And then ultimately, this guy put himself in a position where he's around people who don't have his best interests at heart, and it's just horrible. I hope his family's able to get some level of closure and comfort someday by having a body that they could bury and commemorate his life. And the love that they have for him. But this is obviously just a tragic story for a guy that young losing his life this way.
Yeah, it's barbaric, animalistic. I don't know how someone can, and we understand the implication, the saw, okay, bolt cutter. To think that someone would want to get rid of someone so badly that they would resort to this barbaric behavior. That's the tough part. And I don't want to ever find out what it's like to be in the family's shoes. But I often drift and think, would I want to know everything? Would I want to know everything that happened to my loved one, my heart outside of my body? What say you?
That's a great question. I probably tend to be somebody that wouldn't want to know, honestly. I think I'd be fine with not knowing the gory details of how, my loved one came to their demise. I think the closure of knowing, like, okay, this person is gone, and we have some of their remains, and we can go about, burying this person and giving them a proper send off, because every family deserves that. They deserve to have a proper send off for their loved ones, for everybody to have some level of closure. Yeah, man, I really, really would like to see that for the family. Now, knowing whether they chop this guy's head off or something grotesque like that, I think me personally, I'd rather not know.
Yeah, and you mentioned, a funeral, a memorial service, something, and some people would say, well, the soul is already departed. The remains, however they were desecrated, are another matter. But to me, it's like I need that. It's not closure. I hate that word when you're dealing with something so sudden, so horrific. But I need that, I suppose, to acknowledge you were here, you mattered, you were here, and we need to acknowledge you. The details of this one, Wosny, are so disgusting. The lack of, well, I don't know what's going through the perp. We don't know who did it, but it sure looks a certain way. And there's enough
Mhm.
circumstantial evidence. But I wonder what it's like to have this in your conscience, to have to carry this, to see it when your eyes are open and closed, where you can never escape it. I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, and I'm glad you actually brought that up, as far as the perpetrators are concerned, because obviously the victim's family are going through something horrific, but these perpetrators are also putting their own loved ones through a very trying time where they have to live with and carry this around with them, where people, you know, you people tend to want to support their family members even in the most trying of times, and then in that support, people going to be looking at them all kinds of sideways and crazy. It's just a horrible, horrible circumstance to have visited upon all of these families.
It is. This story will keep following. As you said, you have family there. I'm in the Atlanta, Georgia area, and it's just such a mystery that's unraveling. So we'll keep following the story, bring you an update.